If your Excel chart won't update, it's usually not broken. It's pointing at the wrong thing. The giveaway is simple. Your worksheet values change, but the chart stays stuck on old numbers. Or one series updates, while another looks frozen in time. The fix starts with a quick mindset shift. Charts don't read your sheet like a human. They only plot the exact cells, names, and ranges they were told to use. If that reference is static, misaligned, filtered, or overridden by hidden settings, your chart will look frozen. In the next few minutes, you'll get a reliable checklist. You'll learn how to confirm what the chart is truly linked to. You'll fix the most common range problems. You'll handle filtered lists, pivot charts, and weird series that refuse to move. And you'll leave with a setup that keeps updating automatically, even as your data grows. Next step. First, figure out what kind of not updating you have. That matters because the fix is different. Case 1 is a range issue. New rows exist, but the chart doesn't include them. Case 2 is calculation. Formulas change, but Excel hasn't recalculated, so the chart still reflects old results. Case 3 is filtering. Your source data is filtered, and the chart is only plotting what's visible, or it's excluding hidden rows depending on settings. Case 4 is a pivot issue. Pivot charts update only when the pivot refreshes. And Case 5 is a series definition problem. One line is linked to a different sheet, a different workbook, or a named range that no longer matches reality. If you classify the symptom first, you avoid random clicking. You also avoid fixes that seem to work once, then fail again next week. Next step. Now do the fastest truth check. Confirm the chart's source range. Open the chart's data selection and look at what it's actually using. Don't assume it's the table you intended. Read the series formula carefully. It shows the sheet name, the X values, and the Y values. If you see a range like A2, A21, that's a red flag. Hard limits mean your chart will stop updating when you add row 22. Also watch for references to another workbook. That can happen if you copied a chart from a different file. If the chart is linked to a closed workbook, updates can be inconsistent. Finally, confirm the axis labels range. Sometimes the values range expands, but the labels don't, which makes the chart look wrong even when the number's updated. Next step. The most common fix is also the cleanest. Use an Excel table as the chart source. Tables automatically expand when you add rows or columns. That means your chart range grows without you touching anything. Convert your dataset into a table, give it a clear name, and then point the chart series to the table columns. This solves new data not included in one move. It also reduces mistakes when someone inserts a row in the middle. One caution though, tables work best when your data is in a simple list format with headers. If your layout is more like a report with blank rows, merged cells, or multiple header lines, a table may not fit. In that case, you'll use dynamic named ranges instead, which we'll cover soon. Next step. If you can't use a table, the next best solution is a dynamic named range. The goal is the same. Make the chart reference a range that grows. You create a name for the X range and a name for the Y range. Then your series uses those names instead of fixed cell addresses. There are different formulas for this. Some people use offset, but it can slow large workbooks because it recalculates often. A more stable approach is using index with a last row calculation. The key idea is simple. Find the last row with data, then define the range from the first data cell down to that last row. Once set up, your chart updates when you add data, even if the chart itself never gets edited again. Next step. Sometimes the chart range is correct, but the numbers feeding it are stale. That's a calculation mode problem. Excel can run in automatic or manual calculation. In manual mode, formulas don't update until you force a recalculation. Your chart then looks frozen because it's plotting old formula results. The fix is to switch calculation back to automatic, or to use a deliberate recalc when needed. Also watch for data connections and query results. Those can load new rows, but formulas referencing them may not refresh the way you expect. If your chart depends on formulas like SUMIFs, XLOOKUP, or calculated columns, calculation mode becomes critical. A quick test is to change a source value you know should move the chart. If the cell with the formula doesn't change, the chart is innocent. The calculation is the issue. Next step. Another sneaky cause is filtering and hidden rows. If your source is a table or a filtered list, Excel can either plot hidden rows or ignore them, depending on a setting. That's why a chart may drop points when you filter, or appear not to update because the newest rows are currently hidden. The fix is to decide what behavior you want. If the chart should reflect only visible rows, keep the default behavior, and make sure you're not accidentally filtering out the new data. If the chart should include hidden rows too, change the chart's hidden and empty cell settings. Also consider blanks. Empty cells can be plotted as gaps, zeros, or connected lines. If your data has blanks at the end, your series might look cut off, even though the range is correct. Next step. If you're using a pivot chart, remember this rule. Pivot charts don't update until the pivot updates. You can paste new rows into the source data and nothing changes because the pivot cache still reflects the old dataset. First, confirm the pivot source range includes the new rows. If the pivot source is a fixed range, it will stop short, just like a normal chart. The best fix is to base the pivot on an Excel table so the source expands automatically. Then, refresh the pivot. Also check whether the pivot is set to refresh on file open, which helps if multiple people use the workbook. And if you're using slicers, make sure they aren't filtering out the new items. A refreshed pivot with a slicer still applied can look like it didn't update at all. Next step. Let's talk about the frozen series problem, when one line updates and another refuses. This is usually a series definition mismatch. The series might point to a different column than you think, or it might be referencing a named range that got redefined. Another common issue is mixed data types. If your Y values are stored as text, Excel may treat them as zeros or ignore them, making the series look flat or missing. Dates on the X-axis can cause similar confusion if some are real dates and others are text that only looks like dates. Also check for error values like HR and A. Some charts skip them, others break the line. The fastest fix is to validate the series ranges, then standardize the data types. Numbers as numbers, dates as dates, and errors handled intentionally. Next step. A special case is when your chart uses a secondary axis. This can make updates look wrong, even when they're correct. If one series is on a secondary axis with a different scale, small changes may appear invisible. Or the series might be plotted as a different chart type, like a line combined with columns, and the formatting makes it seem stuck. Another trap is axis bounds set manually. If the minimum and maximum are fixed, new data points can fall outside the visible range. The chart did update, you just can't see the new values. So check axis bounds and reset them to automatic when troubleshooting. Then confirm the series are on the intended axis. Once everything updates correctly, you can reapply custom scaling carefully. Next step. If your chart is linked to a named range, a table column, or another workbook, you can also run into broken links. This happens after moving files, renaming sheets, or copying charts between workbooks. Excel might keep an old path in the series formula, or it might point to a name that exists but now refers to the wrong cells. The result is a chart that updates sometimes or updates with the wrong data. The fix is to audit names and links. Check the name manager for ranges that refer to #ref or to unexpected sheets. Then check for external links and either update them or break them if they're not needed. For shared reporting files, reducing external dependencies makes charts far more reliable. Next step. Sometimes the issue is not the data range, but the chart's handling of empty cells. If your dataset grows by formulas that return blank strings, like empty quotes, Excel may treat those as real values. That can create flat lines, missing markers, or a series that looks frozen at 0. Similarly, if you have trailing blanks, your last points may not display the way you expect. Decide what missing means in your model. If a value is truly missing, returning -HA is often better than returning an empty string, because many charts will skip -HA cleanly. If you want gaps, use settings that show gaps. If you want continuous lines, connect points across blanks. The important part is consistency. Your formulas and chart settings should agree on how to represent missing data. Next step. Now for prevention. Set up your chart so it stays healthy. Start with a clean data layout. One header row, no merged cells, no blank columns inside the dataset. Use an Excel table whenever possible. If you need dynamic named ranges, document them with clear names like sales_Y and month X. Keep your chart series formulas simple, and avoid referencing entire columns if performance matters. If your workbook uses pivots, base them on tables and refresh them intentionally. And if multiple people edit the file, standardize where data gets appended so ranges don't drift. The goal is boring reliability. When your data grows, the chart should grow. When filters change, the chart behavior should be predictable. A little structure up front saves hours of troubleshooting later. Next step. Here's a final quick checklist you can run in under 2 minutes. 1. Confirm the chart's series ranges and axis labels. 2. Check whether the range expands using a table or dynamic names. 3. Confirm calculation mode is not blocking formula updates. 4. Check filters, hidden rows, and empty cell settings. 5. If it's a pivot chart, refresh the pivot and confirm the pivot source range. 6. Validate data types, especially dates and numbers stored as text. 7. Reset axis bounds to automatic when you suspect the chart is updated but not visible. If you follow that order, you'll find the cause fast, without guessing, and you'll know whether the fix should be structural, like tables, or just a one-time refresh. Next step. To wrap up, chart not updating almost always comes down to references, refresh, or visibility. Once you know which one you're dealing with, the fix is straightforward. If you want the most reliable setup, use tables for your source data and keep your layout clean. If you need more flexibility, dynamic named ranges are the next step up. And when charts still look frozen, remember to check calculation mode, pivot refresh, and axis bounds before you rebuild anything. If you want more Excel troubleshooting like this, subscribe. And for a quick pulse check, leave a comment with your situation. Is your chart stuck because of A, new rows not included, or B, formulas not recalculating? Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.